Hello, Home Slices is here with Home Slice Adulting coming to you with my review for season 5, episode 510 of Iyanla Fix My Life. I'm coming a little bit more entertaining than Trina Braxton's episode of Iyanla Fix My Life. So, um, we all watch TV for entertainment value, but watching Iyanla is something different. Um, I think it's if we use the time that we watch Iyanla properly, we can use it to kind of look at ourselves and see, what's going on in our lives and how the things that Iyanla is teaching the people on this show can be applied to our own lives. So let's just get started. We have the title of the episode is Sisters with Secrets. And some of the background is that there's two generations of sisters that don't get along because, we have this very typical um, experience that a lot of Black people go through where someone has a child at a young age, and instead of the parent raising that child, the grandparents raise the child. Um, and that's problematic because it creates rifts in families all the time. I don't know of any situation that's similar to that where a grandparent has raised a child that has not caused a rift ever in the history of ever. It always causes a problem. Um, and we all know that, like, since hindsight is 2020, the grandparent kind of realizes where they went wrong with their own child, and they use the grandchild as a way to make things right, getting a second chance to raise another child to be better than their own child. And then there's where the real parent of the child is jealous because the grandchild has been given a better chance at life, because basically the real parent of the child was kind of like the guinea pig that they did, a test parent situation on, and now the grandchild is given a better life. And there's the part where, the grandparent excludes the parent from the child's life, and it's just bad all the way around. So all in all, people need to raise their own children, and people need to be allowed to raise their own children. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But moving on, Jackie and Latonya are sisters. Latonya is the oldest. Jackie has two daughters, Nikki and Brianna. Jackie raised Brianna, but not Nikki. Nikki was raised by Jackie and Latonya's mother, and therefore developed a close relationship with her aunt, Latonya. Jackie doesn't want Latonya to interfere with her relationship with her daughter, Nikki, and Latonya thinks that Jackie is only there on Iyanla to become a star. Now, first we sit down with Iyanla and Jackie. And Iyanla always starts off by asking, "What's the problem? Why am I here? Why are you here?" And Jackie feels like there's a disconnect in the relationships with the women in her family. So here's what happened. Jackie got pregnant in high school. She was 15 years old when she got pregnant with her oldest daughter, Nikki. And basically, Jackie's mom, who is Nikki's grandmother, took over. Jackie was kicked out of the house when she was 16 years old, and she feels as if she had to leave Nikki there with her grandmother because her grandmother basically denied her access to Nikki. So a couple years later, she meets Brianna's father, and from the way it seems, Brianna's father turned her into a prostitute, and he was her pimp or something along those lines. Apparently she was working at a massage parlor and she was prostituting herself, even while she was pregnant with Brianna, and she continued to prostitute herself up until she was 5 months pregnant with Brianna. And I mean, you can't miss 5 months worth of wages, so I guess. But it's a terrible thing, but people do what they feel that they have to do. So and the fact that she was not fully raised by her mother and had to leave the house at such a young age, I'm sure that there are things that she has done and seen that she is now proud of. Now, apparently Jackie was honest with her kids and told them about her days of prostitution, and Iyanla didn't like that. She felt that it was inappropriate for her daughters to know that that was a part of her life. I don't know how I feel about that per se. I feel like her daughters are adults now, and if that's a part of her life that she wanted to share with them, that she could have. But whatever. Jackie's father was paranoid schizophrenic. He never had a job. He was an alcoholic. He didn't work. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but I'm trying to figure out if he had all those issues going on, what purpose did he serve in their lives? He wasn't contributing financially, or maybe he had a disability check or something along those lines. Um, we'll come back to him a little bit later. Now, Jackie says that she is depressed, she's angry, she's vulgar, and this ugly person comes out of her whenever she gets to the point where she just can't deal with everything. No. Iyanla says Jackie did not have the right tools to be a woman and a mother at 15 years old. And I mean, at 15, you're a child. You're in high school, you're doing crazy things, you're doing stuff that don't make sense. You're definitely not ready to be, have that type of responsibility on you. But Iyanla is, telling her that throughout this process, they're going to come up with some tools that will help to put that 15-year-old to rest. Iyanla embraces her, and then Iyanla tells Jackie that her sister Latonya thinks that Jackie is there to become a superstar, and Jackie is like completely turned off by that. So moving on, Iyanla sits down with Latonya, and Latonya is just very over it with Jackie. She didn't even talk to Jackie about what was her purpose in coming to Iyanla's show. Latonya just made it up in her mind that Jackie was there to become famous. Now, if you don't talk to your sister, you haven't talked to your sister, you've blocked her on your phone for God knows how long they have not been in communication, what gives you the right to come up and make up a story in your mind that she's doing this to become a star? If you're not in communication with somebody, anything that you think about who that person is or what their motivations are for doing a certain thing don't matter. It's not of value. It's like, I don't know a person off the street. Let's say I don't know somebody named Adam. I don't talk to Adam. We may be related by blood, but we haven't talked in a long time. And even if he wanted to talk to me, he would be blocked on my phone. For me to say anything about Adam's intentions doesn't make sense because I don't know him. I'm not in communication with him. So it's like, how dare Latonya make up in her mind that Jackie is doing this to become a star when she don't talk to her sister? I hope I'm making sense. I really didn't like Latonya. Her attitude was very nasty and negative, and it's unfortunate. But Latonya feels like things are in such breakdown in their relationships in their family because Jackie makes them that way. And while Iyanla is reading Jackie's letter, Latonya is rolling her eyes in disbelief. She just feels like Jackie is lying about everything. Latonya says that Jackie was basically a little hellion after she had Nikki, and that she wasn't doing the things that she was supposed to do around the house, that she was disrespectful. And Iyanla is trying to get some compassion for Jackie out of Latonya, saying that she was 15 years old at the time. Nobody sat down and talked to her about being a mom. So how can you really hold her feet to the fire for doing something that she was never taught how to do? Latonya keeps cutting Iyanla off, and Iyanla says that Latonya needs to stop judging her sister. And Latonya won't even entertain the thought that she might be mistaken about her sister's intentions. Like, you haven't talked to the woman in probably months, maybe years. How do you know what her intentions are? You don't, right? Okay. So anyways, next we go to the little trailer outside the RV, whatever it is, and Iyanla is being told by one of the producers, Brittany, that Jackie has called and decided not to be a part of the process anymore because Latonya is involved. So Jackie said that she wasn't going to finish the process. They call her up, and Iyanla, explicitly asked her to commit to staying until the end, and basically saying you cannot renege on the commitment that you made to me in the process. And Jackie is upset because Latonya always paints Jackie out to be a bad person, and it has happened her whole life. And so The thing is, Iyanla has to put her foot down and basically say that Jackie should honor her word and not tell her on how to conduct the healing process. And Iyanla reminds her that Jackie wrote to Iyanla and not the other way around. And that Jackie doesn't get to determine how the process works, and that Jackie should not allow Latonya to stop her from getting the healing that she needs. Now, Jackie drops a bomb and claims that Latonya raped Jackie as a child after Latonya had been raped by somebody else. And that threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing. I think everybody was surprised. I was surprised. And Jackie's resistance to Latonya seems more explainable now. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but Jackie said that she's going to air every demon that Latonya has if she continues throughout the process. So next, Iyanla talks to Latonya again. Now, Jackie did agree to come back the next day, and there was an issue that night with Jackie texting Nikki, and then Nikki didn't respond to Jackie, and they ignored her. Hello, hon, I am live.
Hi.
They interrupted my live feed. Hey, Bo. Y'all see the dog in the doorway? See him? Yeah, but let me go ahead and finish this video. So, Iyanla plays back what Jackie said about Latonya raping her and try to help her see why Latonya and Jackie don't really get along and why Jackie acts the way she acts towards Latonya. But according to Latonya, it never happened. And Iyanla is trying to make this be about perception. Just because you don't remember something, just because it's not true in your eyes, does not mean that she did not perceive that you sexually assaulted her as a child. And she's just trying to stir even an ounce of compassion for Jackie. And Latonya is really just not hearing it. And it's something that definitely needs to be straightened out. But Iyanla asks if it's possible that Jackie is mentally ill, and Latonya says yes, that Jackie is sick. And Iyanla says, well, you don't treat Jackie like she's sick. You don't talk to people who are sick and say that whenever they recount their experiences, that they are liars. This is not how you talk to people who are actually, sick. But Latonya denies any sexual encounters with Jackie, and Iyanla points out how similar Jackie and Latonya are when it comes to reacting to people or when you're in disagreement with people. And so she calls Latonya emotionally violent and says that Jackie isn't safe with her. I personally think that Latonya is the one that wants to get famous, because why would you come on this show? Why would you engage in this process if you are not supportive of your sister? The only thing that Latonya has done the entire time that she was on the show is call Jackie a liar, try to make Jackie look bad. And it's like, if you're not going to support your sister in improving her relationships with both you and her daughters, why are you here? To get famous? It makes more sense that Latonya is there to get famous than for Jackie to be there to get famous. So I was very happy that Latonya, that Iyanla told Latonya not to even be a part of this process, stay as far away from your sister, because you are as much of a problem as you think that Jackie is. Latonya didn't even want to get to the bottom of why Jackie thinks that Latonya raped her. And Iyanla was like, okay, you need to back off. You're out of this process. You're dismissed from this process because Jackie doesn't need this right now. So next, Iyanla talks to Jackie, and Iyanla replays a part of the conversation they had the previous night. And Jackie says that that part of her is a beast, and it comes out quite often. And when people are afraid of you and they're not sure what you're going to do, they stay away from you. And so she has her look in the mirror and basically uses her own words against her. And she says that she wants Latonya to hurt the way that she is hurt. But Latonya is so cold that she doesn't let anything bother her. And Iyanla says that Latonya is broken inside, and she can't really have any compassion for Jackie because she can't even admit that she is hurt. And I think that helps Jackie to understand Latonya a little bit more. And Come to find out, Jackie has never officially been diagnosed with a mental illness. But if her father was paranoid schizophrenic, chances are she might have some mental issues along those lines. Now, we get to the rape comment, and because of the way the story is told, I am under the impression that Jackie is telling the truth about both Latonya being raped and Latonya having inappropriate sexual contact with Jackie. But we learned that, according to Jackie, someone raped Pudding, which is Latonya's nickname, when she was about 11 or 12 years old. Now, what happened was that some man told Latonya to come into the room with him, and Jackie said that Latonya was in the room too long, so she went to a neighbor's house and asked them to call the police. And when the police arrived, Latonya was naked in a closet, and the only people that were in the room were her and that man. Now, I'm under the impression that it may have been their father. I'm not really sure. Don't, you know, don't, quote me on that, is I guess what I'm saying. But that's the impression that I'm getting, considering that her father didn't have a job and he was always in the house and he was drinking and whatnot. I don't think that that is far fetched for me to say. But apparently, Jackie's instincts were on point. The man went to jail, and Jackie says that she feels that Latonya would do to her the same things that had been done to Latonya. So they slept in the same bed together, and there was some inappropriate sexual contact, but they were both children at the time, around the ages of 9 and 12, and it happened more than once. And I don't think that it is unheard of for children who have been sexually violated to violate other people. It could be out of curiosity or experimentation. I'm not an expert on any of that stuff, but because of what I know about the world, I think that Jackie is telling the truth. And I think that Latonya either does not remember or has put it out of her memory or is just in denial about some of those things happening. And I just feel like because people kind of see Jackie as having some type of mental illness, that they have a tendency not to believe her when she really is telling the truth. But I think that Jackie is telling the truth. Now, Iyanla says that she told Latonya to stay away from Jackie so that Jackie can have a safe place to heal. And I think that, that's for the best. Now, moving on, Iyanla talks with Jackie's daughters, Brianna and Nikki. Now, they didn't even really say hi to each other. They're just repeating the pattern of their mother and their aunt, two sisters that are not getting along. And Nikki wants a better relationship with her mother, and she says that she found the relationship in her aunt Latonya. Now, Nikki thinks that her relationship with Latonya is what's stopping Jackie from having a mother and daughter bond with her. Now, Iyanla finds out that in Nikki's eyes, Latonya didn't raise her, that she was raised by her grandmother, but Latonya always makes it a point to claim that she raised Nikki, and that she does that to hurt Jackie. Now, Brianna comes off as an enabler. She tells her mom that her behavior is not her fault and she's in her mother's corner to the point where she's enabling her in her bad behavior. Now, Iyanla asks Nikki what is her perception of the reason why she was not raised by her mother. And so Nikki says that Jackie claims that Nikki was taken from her, but she says that her grandmother and her aunt tell her something contradictory to that. They claim that Jackie didn't want to raise a child at 15 and that she wanted to party and do whatever she wanted, and that basically Nikki was left behind or abandoned by her mother. Now, this is something that we talked about when we talked about the women during the Mitchell brothers things with the daughter whose name I can't remember, Kizzy, and their mother, whose name I can't remember right now. I had mentioned something similar with them. And this is why I'm telling you, when children are raised by their grandparents, the stories get mixed up and the mother is not allowed to see the child. And it's a bunch of kerfuffle. And people just really need to learn to be responsible for taking care of their own children. And people need to be responsible for allowing the parents to take care of their own children, because it just creates so many problems when it does not happen. But anyways, Iyanla says that it's inappropriate for her grandmother and her aunt to try to tell her mother's story. Nikki says, whatever. And I was like, Iyanla needs to slap the taste out of her mouth. To me, that was just so disrespectful for her to just say, oh, whatever, Iyanla. And basically, Nikki is mad because she doesn't want to be told that her grandmother was wrong. I guess she just looks at her grandmother as this awesome person. And when you have somebody who is taking care of you and painted it out as if they took care of you because somebody else abandoned you, you have this outlook at them like they are perfect, like they are an angel. They are your guardian angel who came and rescued you when you were, left in the gutter by the mother that didn't want you. When that part of the story may not even be true. So, anyways, Brianna says that Jackie was 15. She was a child. What was she going to do? Disobey her mother and, take her baby to go live somewhere where, she was kicked out of the house at 16 years old. At 16 years old, where was she going to go? What was she going to do carrying a baby with her? So regardless of whether or not Jackie's mother did not allow her to take the baby, or if Jackie felt that it would be better for the baby to stay with her grandmother, I feel that Jackie did the right thing because I don't think that there was much of anything that Jackie could do for her daughter if they were going to be out on the street together when she's just 16 years old trying to take care of a baby. But moving on, Brianna feels like the blame should fall onto their grandmother, and Nikki is just hell bent on blaming Jackie for stuff that happened when she was a teenager. We have all done stupid stuff as teenagers, and I don't think that we should I don't think it's fair for Nikki to hold Jackie's feet to the fire for something that happened at 15 or 16 years old. I think that she should have a little bit more of a forgiving heart and an understanding heart towards her mother. So Brianna feels a responsibility to have her mother's back because nobody else does, and people ignore her. And Iyanla tells Brianna that she has to stop enabling her and hold her accountable for her behavior. Nikki doesn't see that Jackie is not safe with Latonya. We find out that Nikki has had 8 miscarriages, and I just feel so bad for her. She lost a child at 36 weeks, which is almost full term. Like, people have premature babies that are born before 36 weeks that survive, and the fact that she lost a baby at 36 weeks is heartbreaking considering how many miscarriages she's had. And so apparently they were planning a baby shower for that baby because the baby was almost full term, and she had a conversation with Jackie, and Jackie said must have had one of her fits where she gets angry and mad, and she told her that she wished her baby would die, and the baby did die. And it's like, after something like that, I don't know if I would want anything to do with Jackie. So maybe Nikki is being more considerate of her mother than, we think that she should be. But moving on, all the ladies are talking together. Jackie starts talking about how she had to put the hurt of not being able to raise Nikki behind her because she had to move on with her life, because she had other children to raise. She had to take care of herself in the streets at 16 years old. She just kind of had to put all of that behind her. She asked for forgiveness for making her children her sounding board, and that she doesn't want the pattern to continue with sisters not getting along. And so Nikki talks, and she says she loves her mother unconditionally. And basically, from what I gathered from what Nikki said, she doesn't want Jackie to feel like Latonya is going to come between the fact that they are mother and daughter. Now, Iyanla also holds the daughters and talks to them as if they are teachers that need to hold up a mirror to Jackie whenever she's behaving badly, and asking if this is the type of person that you want the world to see that you are. And so in the end, we find out that Jackie and Latonya had a clearing conversation, and they are no longer blocked on each other's phones. So there's some progress there. We also find out that because the 2 older women have made progress, that Nikki and Brianna are in better relationship as well. So the fact that there are positive results from this particular episode feels good because we know that there are not always great outcomes from these shows. A lot of times people come back and they attack Iyanla, they attack the process, and they say that Iyanla is only doing it for television. I don't think any of us really believe that. Um, but either way it goes, I was entertained by this. I feel like there are a lot of things that we can take away from this, but because this video is already so long, I'm not going to go into those. But next time on Iyanla Fix My Life, we hear from Hazel E. And that's going to be very, very interesting because we all know that how delusional Hazel E is and how silly and crazy she can be if any of us have watched Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So I would be surprised if there are positive results and if Iyanla is able to get through to Hazel E. But we'll just have to see next week. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, home slices.